My pleasure to Excellence Live that we are hosting today with wonderful team of ENG Hubs Poland. We will be talking about the Know Your Customer process and how it is impacted by use of modern technologies. Let us give us the microphone to the ING Hubs team in Warsaw.
Hello everyone, welcome and greetings from ING Hubs Poland, the office in Warsaw. I have a great pleasure to open today's Digital Excellence webinar, which is going to talk about the KYC, so the Know Your Customer, done by the ING Hubs Poland. But we are also going to talk about the business and technology collaboration. So it sounds like a very interesting topic and I hope that you will like it. I'm meeting today with 4 colleagues from the ING Hubs Poland. Let me introduce them. So I have Ivan Perkovic with me today. Hello, Ivan. Hi. Ivan is the KYC Operations Circle Lead. Then I have also Marcin Olecki, who is the Head of Business Management and Transformation. I also have Lukasz Kurzeja, who is the Engineering Chapter Lead. And I also have Piotr Gdowski, who is the Machine Translation and Robotic Department Chapter Lead. Hello. Hello. And my name is Mirek, and I have the pleasure to lead this meeting, and I'm responsible for the communication and marketing. Right, so I think that we have this introduction part nearly done, and I'm saying nearly because before we go to the discussion, to this interesting discussion, I really would like to introduce you also our company, because I'm not sure if all of you already recognize ING Hubs Poland on the Polish market. So who we are? ING Hubs Poland is one of the 4 hubs which is providing the services to the ING Group worldwide. We here in Poland are located in 2 cities, in Warsaw, where we are right now, as I said, but also in Katowice. We are employing already 3,500 employees, and we are still recruiting. So if only you are interested in joining us, this great company, feel free to do so. You can find all the details on our website. Apart of that, it's really important to mention that we already are having more than 1,200 services and signed contracts with our more than 80 business partners. I think it sounds really, really amazing. Please remember, as I said already, that we provide the services only within the ING Group. So we are a very international company. And here I'm also very happy to say that our organization in Poland is also very diverse and international. We speak in English on a regular basis, and we already have more than 70 countries representatives in our organization. It sounds absolutely great. I think that you will agree with me, yes?
Fantastic.
Super, it is fantastic. And what is the most important thing to say about the ING Hubs Poland is that we as a hub combine technology and business. We also combine business with operations, services to our clients. This is why when you are reading about the ING Hubs Poland, you can also read that we are creators. Why? Because we do create the bank of the future, because we support the ING Bank, the ING financial institution. So this is in a nutshell. If only you want to know more about ING Hubs Poland, please check our website, our social media, or simply find us on LinkedIn, and we are happy to support you with all the questions. And I think that now we can start the discussion, which I mentioned about this KYC, so the Know Your Customer done in ING Hubs Poland. Are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Yes, super. I have to start with one question. I think it's the main question to open this discussion. What does it mean, KYC, for you, for us? What's behind this Know Your Customer? How we should understand it?
Know Your Customer is our obligation as a global organization, interfacing with clients, but also being a key element of the global financial ecosystem to make sure that we do not allow the bad actors from using our bank or our financial system to commit financial crime. And by that we mean fraud, tax evasion, terrorist financing, money laundering, you name it. There are multiple multiple financial crimes that can be committed using a financial system. And what we are doing is we're building in controls into the customer lifecycle, from the opening of the customer relationship through transactioning all the way up to the end, to the exit of our relationship, to make sure that we can execute that mission.
Sounds very interesting.
Maybe just
of course.
to what Marcin is saying. So I like to look at the KYC as a relationship. So basically, one side we have a client, and on the other side we have a bank, and it's basically so two parties within a relationship. And so I think it's very important for us as being part of a larger financial institutions to make sure that we are safeguarding the financial ecosystem and avoiding it to be misused by anyone who may try to do so. But on the other hand, we are very much also focused on making sure that the way this relationship is handled is also very pleasant. And I would say it's not something hard for our clients. So it also gives, I would say, a little bit different view of what to know your customer is.
Very good view.
And just to add to this, I think this is exactly what we are telling to everybody who is applying to us for a job. We do have a mission. In a sense, we treat this seriously. Exactly. So when you're coming to work for us, you are here to fight financial crime. It is something more than some other jobs can offer.
Mm-hmm. And I think that we are also trying to find the answer to the question today during this discussion, like how the KYC process can be impacted or even should be impacted by the evolving technology. You mentioned about the customers, but I'm pretty sure that there are also some challenges within the processes. So right now I'm looking into this technology part. So Marcin, if you can tell our colleagues and our audience, like what role does technology play in this KYC process and how it is evolved over recent years?
Sure, absolutely. I think when it comes to the role of technology, we can define it as a fundamental enabler. With the amount of data that the entire portfolio of products and customers are generating, it is impossible to establish those controls without support of technology. What we are kind of juggling always within KYC is the notion of effectiveness, efficiency, and customer lifecycle or customer impacts. So we in terms of effectiveness, it's basically making sure that we catch the bad guys. Efficiency is obviously making sure that we do it with as little effort as possible, and the customer impacts. I think it speaks on its own.
And maybe also according to the rules which we have to stick to.
Absolutely.
Certain requirements.
The requirements.
Each financial institution.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think for technology, especially in global organizations such as the ING groups, where we need to build globally standard, centralized monitoring operations and other KYC process. I'm being short-sighted because I'm focusing on transaction monitoring, but as we discussed, it's a broader topic. Without technology, we wouldn't be able to deploy and improve how we process our controls.
On one hand, I think that some of our audience, and here we can say like it sounds quite easy. We know how the regulations looks like. We know how to deal with these bad actors and how to prevent the risk. But I'm pretty sure that, yes, you are facing some challenges. Yes. So maybe, Ivan, you can share with us those challenges in the KYC process, if there are any.
Yes. Well, yes. We never have I would say, a challenge of being bored, because there's always enough challenges to deal with. And also maybe for our audience to have this in mind, one of the reasons why ING Hubs has been so successful over the last 20 years, which we are celebrating this year, is because we were able to provide the expertise in all the different business areas. And so in terms of the challenges, I would mention maybe two of them. The first one is I would say to make sure that the interaction that we have with our clients. So whenever we need an information from our client, the goal that we try to work with together with the teams of Piotr, which is the machine translation and robotics, and then also from the engineer side with Lukasz, is to make sure that this is smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be, I would say, what is visible on the front to make it easy. On the back side, what that means for us is that we have to look at all the different systems that are different in different countries,
Mm-hmm.
different applications that we have to use for business. How do we make them integrated to then have the final product and make sure that our client doesn't need to, I don't know, spend 3 hours, every sometime on the interaction with the bank. So that's one point. And then the second point, and I will finish with this one, is the question of data. So as our audience may be aware, financial institutions obviously have, because of their trust that the society places in them, an enormous amount of data that is being shared, and they are obviously also very important from the client data privacy perspective. What we are trying to make here is to make sure that this data that we have actually becomes a valuable piece of information for a few reasons. One is to safeguard the financial ecosystem, and then the second is always going to be to make sure that the client journey within our bank is smooth and doesn't have any frictions along the process.
Super.
Yeah, that
Sounds really good, and I'm really happy that you mentioned about this collaboration between KYC, so between the business, but also with the technology. So I think that right now we can also check with our colleagues from this technology part. And now I have a question, yes, to Lukasz maybe about the organizational culture, because we said that yes, they do collaborate with you, so the business collaborate with technology, but how do you collaborate, and is it easy, is it possible, is it really needed?
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest challenges we have right now in running a complex project is that common understanding by people from different parties. So for us, it's very important to engage people at the very beginning to do that. For example, when we start some idea, some project, we use event storming. That's a new methodology which is based on workshops where people explore business, try to understand it, the workflows, dependencies, events which drive the business. And based on that, we have the picture of what client actually wants and needs.
Mm-hmm. Is client also a part of this discussion?
Oh, yes.
They are needed on this meeting, if I understand correctly.
Because actually they drive it. We need to understand it. The side effect, let's call it, of that is sometimes business simplify processes or find out that what he wanted at the beginning is a little bit different than what it needs. So it's some additional benefit of this.
Okay,
of
so
these meetings.
It looks like that you are checking the needs. You want to make them clear for all the sides, for both technology and for the business. So I understand that one, but I'm really curious to know, like, what's the best moment to open such discussion? Is it already when it's agreed that such process, product, or service will be created? Or it should be really at the very, very first moment, even when the idea comes to the client side, or what's the best moment?
At the very first moment, to put all the facts just on the table, discuss them, and try to understand the business.
So it's similar to the brainstorm meeting. Am I right?
What is the difference then? Is that it's all about the business. It's driven by business, by events. So that's the main difference.
I think that my perspective on that symbiosis between technology and business is exactly that, meaning that this is an ongoing partnership that we need to build together to go on a journey, because the regulatory landscape and the customer expectations, the product complexity is ever evolving, and those bad guys are not sitting there and waiting for us to to do our job. They are constantly innovating. They are building.
We have to be quicker. Even.
They are building their own organized hubs to launder money. So we cannot afford for the handoff-driven technology relationship that we had, back in the days in a waterfall SDLC type setting. We need to work hand in hand all the time to innovate together.
Exactly. So, after getting the requirements, the second thing is just to use some wireframing, prototyping to show what the solution look like, how would it behave, to see, okay, if we are aligned, if we are on the same page. And after that, that's what Marcin said. Actually, agile comes in help with that, because we need to work together all the time. So we deliver small pieces, give business to test it, to play with that, get a feedback, improve it, and do it all the time. Because the whole delivery process is pretty much automated. So infrastructure releases, application releases, some unit tests, all of them are automated, so we can focus on the business value. So that's the reason, that's the way how the cultural organization support the collaboration.
And this is how we work together. This is fundamentally how this organization is structured. The agile way of working is exactly that.
It has to happen like that.
Yeah, I think
it's crucial
nowadays, as you mentioned. I mean, maybe just for our audience who may not be so familiar with the ING and our culture, I think it may be worthwhile to spend some time just to say that what you are hearing today here for us sounds, I would say, natural, but then it's not something that I think you would see in every company that you work for. So we really don't feel any, I would say, obstacles that are standing in place when I have a challenge or an issue to go to Piotr or to Lukasz or to some other colleagues to say, look, we need support here, and then there is a value. And then when I, for example, visit our stakeholders in some places, then I'm sort of representing also what the technology has to offer to say, look, this works with us. You may also be interested and find it helpful to improve your process.
So this is also so much important for you to understand it and to be in a close touch with the technology, because you also represent them, as you said.
As an addition, I would just want to say that we support all countries, and for each country we have a different regulations. So without that cooperation, probably we wouldn't be successful.
Exactly. And when you said about being successful, so I think that it's also the right moment to talk about those successful examples of having technology implemented in KYC processes. Do you have any? Because I'm pretty sure that yes.
Yes, we do. So ING, this is not only KYC, but we do have also technology. So one of the technologies we use is RPA, robotic process automation. So we tend to make, let's say, this boring stuff, but it's the stuff which must be performed by people. So we tend to shift them to more complicated tasks. Therefore, we apply an RPA. On top of that, we also use machine translation. As we know, ING is represented in multiple countries, and we need to be able to read communication in various languages, translate the documentation from one language to another. And this is really important because we don't want to ask clients questions which we shouldn't ask.
So we do it on our own, those
Definitely.
translations. And does it take a long time, or is it a short period of time?
Everything depends on the type of the communication. So when it comes to email, we can do it offline.
Oh, wow.
But when it's about the documents in PDFs and any other stuff, it might be a bit longer.
Okay.
But this is still around 5-10 minutes.
But still, we can come back to the client on the same day, because we understand the request, we can start the discussion. So this is great, because it looks like the doors are open and we can talk to everyone, even if we don't have those language capabilities on board. Yes,
exactly, and enables us to scale up our business, basically, because otherwise it would be way more challenging.
It would be very difficult to get the language skills and to the scale that we need sometimes, operating globally. So
for example, Dutch.
to
find a Dutch speaker in Warsaw, it's
exactly.
It's really not an easy.
Can you imagine?
As an addition, I can only say that these are only two technologies I mentioned, but we still have in-house solutions, and without these solutions, probably we wouldn't be able to be compliant in every single country. There's one big on-prem, and application is able to help analysts to support our clients almost without mistakes. I'm just looking at our business guys. They can probably confirm, but this is something what we are proud of. We're even able to communicate with our clients not knowing that language. So by using the RPA or machine translation.
Exactly.
Absolutely, I can fully confirm. We've been using that technology. Building out our hub. It's allowed us to what Ivan said. Very quickly ramp up our staff. Right now, we've exceeded 1,000 people in transaction monitoring, thanks to the fact that we've been able to actually we haven't been constrained by the language pool so much. So
Super.
yeah.
I think that we are lucky that we have this technology in DNA in our company, so then we can simply use it on a regular basis, on a daily. Yes,
It's very important, and also maybe to add on that, I think even if people in the company structures, meaning that the people who are in the management, they really understand what the needs are, they are supporting us. And maybe just to touch on another topic, which is the innovation, very briefly, man. So maybe within the KYC space, as you mentioned, Anya, we have several hubs globally within the group. We obviously cooperate with all of our colleagues, and whatever we learn here and leverage our expertise, one of our key goals is to make sure this is aligned across the countries. But then what is very important for Warsaw, in many ways, Warsaw and also Poland are an IT hub, I think, and it's recognized on the European market. So what we then try is to see what is happening on the market, discuss with the internal stakeholders, try to get some support, and then we also build certain business cases that we are now going to do within the KYC to see if we can have some other, like edge to leverage what is in-house, to leverage what is available on the market, all with the same goal, again, smooth client journey, processes that are efficient, and it's also improving our skills.
As an addition what Ivan said, so as an innovation, we are taking under consideration AI. This is very, very trendy topic.
Chat GPT,
definitely.
Everybody waited for this one.
Yeah, everyone knows what it is, and we can only share a news that we are testing this in ING. But before we will make a, let's say, green light, there is still a lot to do. A lot of things which are still not confirmed. One is responsibility. Let's take under consideration that we have a bad answer from AI. So who will take the responsibility?
Oh yeah, exactly. That's a very good point. Exactly.
Yeah. So whether it will be an analyst who prompt the AI, whether it will be ING because we have AI, or whether it will be a company which delivered us the AI. So this is still under discussion. So, but I know because that probably hackathon. I'm just guessing. But
yeah, actually, that's how we are experimenting with that. For example, today in Katowice, Cloudcraft hackathon takes place, and actually our developers challenges our private cloud, public clouds, AI solution, Chat GPT in a safe environment. So how that we do with that, how we are dealing with that. In the meantime, also waiting for some regulatory rules. We also trying to create machine learning models which detects some anomalies.
Okay.
So yeah.
So this is our reality, yes, the AI, robotics. Yeah, we have to deal with it because this is our reality and this is our future. But security first. So we have to check the solutions, and we have to be sure that the solution is from the customer perspective and also from the company perspective simply safe. Yes.
Definitely, and here the AI Act will be in place, but probably we need some time before it will be implemented. I know that a few days ago it was pre-approved still, but implementation probably will be in the next year.
several years maybe.
Yeah.
It looks like
It's a lot. Well, it's a journey before we can really sell the practical applications of AI into the actual KYC processes. It will have to be it will have to be sold to the regulators. It will have to be defended. We will have to build model management practices that will enable us to show that we are in control of what is happening. But the benefits are potentially huge, and the applications of AI and machine learning are on the drawing boards, looking very promising, in both in the context of effectiveness as well as efficiency of KYC processes, specifically for transaction monitoring. You can think of both using AI applications in terms of generating alerts, so working through big data sets, plowing through customer activity, trying to understand anomalies, trying to understand what is normal and what is not normal. When you do that, when the algorithm understands those patterns, it can be much more precise in highlighting suspicious activity rather than a simple threshold that goes through all transactions and simply flags a ton of false positives this way. So I think that's one. The second one that you can imagine is that when you actually generate rule-based alerts, you could apply AI to simulate what an investigator would do. So it could try and do triage of generated alerts and recommend to an investigator a decision. Maybe at some point, if proven, it could lead to auto closures of such alerts. So I think there are multiple uses and huge potential benefits, both in terms of effectiveness as well as efficiency of the process.
So it looks like the technology can really help in reducing false positives in KYC and make this process effective. This is it, yes? That's the whole story. So we have to have this technology combined, yes?
It sounds simple.
Of course, behind this simple sentence is the huge organization of people, teams, and etc.
It's a dream. It's a hope and dream, pretty much, because it will take quite some time between now and execution. But there are already ways of addressing false positives that we're looking into, and you could name a few ways that you can eliminate those. First of all, so let's maybe define what a false positive is.
Exactly.
Right?
This is what I wanted to ask you. What does it mean? Maybe some of
so indeed, now looking at it from a transaction monitoring standpoint, when you generate alerts based on transactional activity, a false positive would be a transaction that is falsely flagged, or it's flagged to an investigator to investigate, even though it shouldn't be. So it is simply generating a workload without providing any risk coverage value. And right now we predominantly are driven by the rule-based alert generation engines, where you have thresholds. You're going through transactions and you're trying to interpret them in the context of set values. These values are generated, and in order to work down the number of false positives, which are to some extent an Achilles foot of the transaction monitoring frameworks everywhere, pretty much, is to enable the design teams who define the controls to have a sandbox environment based on production data, where they can develop new controls, test the existing controls, and monitor what would be the effects of changing thresholds. That flexibility is something that we are building, and it's absolutely critical to building the effectiveness of the control set.
Super, absolutely.
Then what you can do is you can reduce the number of false positive escalations by giving the investigators sufficient information so that they can make a decision without having to escalate because of lack of data. This obviously is a big data warehousing kind of project or assignment, so to speak, because it requires pulling data from local systems, from outside sources and commingling them with investigations. But what we're doing now is we're kind of simulating or building robots to do that ahead of time, so that our investigators can process through investigations quicker and escalate less, eliminating those false
And again, those robots are being built together with the technology team. So
exactly.
this is a very nice example of this collaboration. But I'm really curious, and maybe even this is a question to you, because we've already said about those reducing false positives, and this is how technology can support KYC processes. But still, can we also say that technology can improve the customer experience in KYC processes?
Yes, I think it would be probably the key. So again, two factors. We have the human factor, which is never going to be replaced, nor I think should it, because as I said in the beginning, the KYC at the end is a relationship. So if we don't have the trust from our clients, we would have no reason to be around. Second part is technology. We are living in an environment that is hyper fast and hyper overloaded with the information. So the key thing is for, I think, our clients and what we see in our own lives is to then disseminate what is important and what is less important. And when it comes to the KYC, what the technology does for us, it basically enables us to have not as many interactions, meaning not to bother the client when we don't need, but to do that, you need to be able to have the proper set of information, which again, thanks to different tools, as an example, we have markets where we work like in 10 or 15 applications. And so for an analyst to then make one overview and provide a comment and make sure that it's correct, it's not an easy thing. But then based on that, you have certain questions to the client. As I said, you really don't want to contact client 2 or 3 times, because then their experience of what ING brand is not going to be great. And I think the reason why we exist, and as everybody may or may not know, our mission is to empower our clients to stay a step ahead in business and in life. This is what we are trying to do. And technology colleagues and the solutions that they have for us are exactly instrumental in achieving it.
Super. But my colleagues from technology part, do we have time for those innovations? Do you and your teams have enough time to check what's the proper innovation right now on the market, or where we should invest our development, our time?
Yes, of course. We take into account actually 3 aspects. First of all is to maintain what we deliver. So our services, products, to be reliable, to be accessible 24 hours per day. Second thing is to work on new features to keep our products competitive. And the third one is to research a market to find out if there are new solutions and if they exist and if they are ready to incorporate them into existing products. So yes, all of these 3 aspects we take into account. So we have to have time for innovations.
I'm from communication and marketing, so I have to say that in ING Hubs Poland, I'm really proud of that we really do find time for learning, for development, and we know that it's important to invest in our employees. And this is why I was really curious to hear that answer. I knew the answer a bit, because I know that we are doing our best to find this time, but still I wanted to hear how it looks like in your eyes. And it's good that we agree. But yes, we have this time for finding time for development, for innovations, because we see that it's important. Yes, and we simply have to collaborate in our organization, technology, business. This is like one team. Am I right?
It is. Absolutely. Yes.
I would agree. I would completely agree.
So maybe just to add on the top of this, also keeping in mind our audience, few points. Technology is the key and business is the key, but behind all of these are the people. And so if we have our relationships that are healthy, if we take care of our well-being and the well-being of our employees, then I think all of the other things, putting the client also in perspective, our strategic goals, this will all come. And again, I think also the colleagues maybe who have been here for some time, myself, for example, 3 years, but I'm sure that some of us have been maybe even longer, can say that one of the reasons why we stay here is because we feel taken care of. And that's what gives us motivation and enthusiasm to also continue looking for new ways,
very nice.
pushing the
Yeah.
barriers and looking for the best solutions for our clients.
Super. And you also feel this empowerment, yes, that
Absolutely.
you can work on what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and etc. So I'm really, really happy to hear that. I don't know if you've noticed that at the beginning of this meeting, I've mentioned that ING Hubs Poland employees can be named like creators. And I think now it suits exactly to what you said, that we really feel like we are creators and we do create the bank of the future. And everything what you shared with us today can simply prove that yes, we do create the bank of the future based on the newest technologies. And I'm very, very happy to hear that business talks with technology and technology also wants to talk with business, and you simply see the value added in this collaboration. So it's absolutely great that we have this opportunity to talk about it. I'm pretty sure that we can talk much more on that, but unfortunately the time is ticking, and I see the watch that we still have like 2-3 minutes left. But if there is anything else you would like to add, this is the right moment. If not, I'm going to say thank you to all our audience, and we will simply close the meeting. But
Yeah, so maybe for the end again, I'm very much aware that we have many people watching us today, and only thing I could say based from my own experience is that we are very much an open family. We encourage and promote diversity, and we always look for balance. So if you would be interested, feel free to go on our website, maybe talk to someone if you know anybody from our company, and I'm sure you will find the confirmation of everything that was said today.
exactly.
Yeah, I think to add on top of that, we have a very clear mission and we execute on that mission. And we execute on that mission because we have a very close partnership with technology. As a matter of fact, we don't view this as a kind of two different organizations speaking to each other, but really technology is part of business in every product that we deliver or every process.
And we
Exactly.
use technology for business.
This is very nice. So at ING Hubs Poland, we use technology for business, and I think this is a very nice sentence at the end. And yes, I fully agree with my colleagues and also with what Ivan said right now, that we have a place for you if only you want to develop and you want to learn more about those beautiful technology cases, project cases, processes, and etc. Just simply go to our website, check our job vacancies, because we still do recruit our new colleagues. So please feel welcome already to look into those processes. So for now, we would like to say thank you very much. And who knows, maybe let's see in a while. We never know what we are going to talk about during the next Digital Excellence webinar. Thank you very much for today. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Thank you.
everyone.